over the next few days. In fact, we're going to see some wintry precipitation in parts through tonight and possibly first thing tomorrow. And after that, yet a return to more wet and windy weather, even stormy conditions for Sunday evening leading into Monday. And along with high seas and high tides, there is the continued risk of coastal flooding.
Flood alerts remain in place tonight in several local authority areas. Homeowners and businesses are being advised to take precautions as best they can. Pat McGrath, RTE News, Galway.
Lahinch Promenade in County Clare was extensively damaged by last night's storm. Parts of the seawall and pathways were completely broken, while the lower end of the prom was covered in around 3 feet of water. The damage caused is estimated to run to several million euro.
This is what is left of the promenade at Lahinch in County Clare. Battered by the might of storm-force gales and huge waves, the seawall and pathways were completely broken up and destroyed. You'd have been forgiven for thinking that it had been hit by a tsunami or some other form of earthquake, such was the devastation. Barriers were broken and street lighting masts bent with the force of the elements. At the lower end of the prom, surfing huts and vans were completely submerged. The local playground also covered in water. It hadn't been seen in living memory. People were describing it as like a war zone.
It's pretty horrific. It's like Armageddon down here, as you can see behind me. The force of the waves. You had 3 things last night. You had the wind, you had a very high tide, and you had a huge buoyant sea behind it. And the waves weren't breaking in the sea at all. They were breaking actually on the land and smashing into all the buildings that you see here.
The area has now been closed indefinitely, and the major job now is the clean-up and repair work. Lahinch is heavily dependent on tourism, and its economy will also take a battering unless that repair work can be completed quickly.
This represents an absolute disaster for the community here. All the employment in the surrounding area, for quite a lot of it, relies on these facilities being in place. So for Clare County Council, the challenge is in the first instance to find the funding to repair the damage and to refurbish the promenade, and I suppose in the second instance to do it as quickly as